So Raw starts with an Obafemi promo, him just saying the ruler has arrived. And that just makes perfect sense. I'm excited to see what happens next. I have no idea what's going to happen next. So I'm pretty interested to see what is next for the ruler. Next is Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors in a good little match. It was fine. It was pretty good. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite match tonight, but I liked it. And it seems like this is going to be the final time for a Rhea and Io match versus somebody, which also excites me because Io Sky's kind of been treated like a sidekick. So I'm glad that Rhea is going to go to SmackDown and go be a SmackDown superstar because it lets Io Sky go be the front runner. Should have been the front runner anyhow, but it's whatever. And I think this is going to just lead to another feud with Kabuki Warriors, which I'm excited for. Finally get that Io Asuka match, probably at Backlash if I were to take a guess. So I'm pretty excited for that match because, again, Asuka is my favorite women wrestler of all time. So I'm pretty excited for that match as well. And they had a backstage segment where they kind of said, "Hey, this is going to be the final time we're splitting apart." And then Rhea runs into Liv Morgan, and that hints at a King of the not King of the Ring, but a Night of Champions match whenever they do the main champions versus each other match. I think that's probably going to happen. I'm interested to see how that goes. Next, we have Ethan Page confronts Javon Evans. Javon Evans is pretty much saying, "Hey, I'm going to go for the Intercontinental Champion." Ethan Page walks up and goes, "Huh, what a coincidence. It's also what I'm going to go for," essentially. And then Adam Pearce books a match for Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. Next, we have a CM Punk promo. CM Punk comes out and says, I should be sad about this, but I'm not. I'm happy about this. I got my main event. I got a great match. I wasn't even supposed to be the champion, so the fact that I was champion for so long means so much to me. And you never know, by being ready, that makes me get opportunities for championship belts. And he's like, you never know when a championship opportunity will come up. Cody Rhodes comes out. Cody Rhodes, that black eye looked crazy. That looked like crazy. I was like, oh my goodness. I hope he's okay. He's fine, but I was like, okay, calm down. That's like really bad. You might have just needed to like sit back for a little bit. And then Cody Rhodes comes out and he's sitting there, he's talking. He's like, I feel like more of a loser than you do. And he's like, well, I was just facing someone I hated. You faced someone you loved. So it's going to be a lot harder for you. And then he shows the title. CM Punk looks at it. And he goes, you never know when a title opportunity will arrive. And Cody Rhodes says, anytime you want one. And I think that's going to be your main event at WrestleMania next year. So I'm pretty excited for that. Next, we have Ethan Page versus Javon Evans. Ethan Page gets the win here. It was a good little match. Javon Evans is always cool. He's always fun to watch. I love Javon Evans. Ethan Page gets the win here by a distraction from Rusev. And then Ethan Page kind of just backs away. He's like, I'm not going to help you. Go do your thing. He's kind of just watching in the background and applauding while Rusev's doing that. Penta comes out to come help Javon. Ethan Page throws Penta off the top rope. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And he kind of like tries to be friends with Rusev, and Rusev's like, no. No, I'm the Bulgarian brute. I don't need your help. I don't need none of that. And I was like, okay, yeah, makes sense. Next we have a Liv Morgan celebration. It was a fine promo. It was just her being like, the longest range happy end. She does that long thing. And it leads to Sol Ruka coming out. And Sol Ruka's like, I'm just out here to congratulate you, but if you want to fight, and Liv Morgan's like, well, if you want to fight, we can fight right now. And Adam Pearce is like, that's a great idea. Get to fighting. This was probably my favorite match of the night. It was like a 13-minute match, longer than than a WrestleMania match, and I liked it. So Ruka's incredible. She's so flashy. She has the moves down. She has the moves down, and so she can get that psychological. I thought this was good. It was a very good match. I actually thought everything made sense. She countered the Oblivion with a handstand, and I was like, that's cool. Everything just made sense. I thought it was just a really good match for sure. Yeah, that was for sure a very good match. I really enjoyed it. Next, we have the Vision coming out, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and I was like, okay. They come out, cut a promo. Paul Heyman's there. Paul Heyman introduced Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's back. It was an all right promo. That's not where I think his promos are very, very good. It's just him talking to the crowd. I think whenever he's like beating up an opponent and then talking to the cameras, where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is where Braun shines. This is the promo that I think he does very, very good. And he does that. After spearing Seth Rollins, he does get that promo off, and I was like, whew, that's good. That's good right there. That's good right there. But before that happens, first, how does Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins get in the ring alone? The Street Profits return and attack the Vision of Austin Theory and Logan Paul. And they kind of fight in the crowd. I love the Street Profits. They're my favorite WWE tag team, probably the best WWE tag team in ring. I really, really like the Street Profits. They're just insanely good. And they are finally here to save the Raw division. So they were very, very good. I really enjoyed it. And if I was if I was them, I would do a little swap where, not a swap per se, but I'd have Austin Theory and Logan Paul stop being in the Vision and have the Street Profits join the Vision, because that'd just have way more aura than Logan Paul and Austin Theory. But they won't do that. And honestly, I think Street Profits as faces is just as too good. I do. I think that's just way, way too good. I think the Street Profits are so, so good. Again, the best tag team in my division. And they are going to save the Raw tag team division. I mean, you're going to get the Street Profits, and they're absolutely insanely good. They're incredible. I love the Street Profits. And Braun Breaker looked really good here after the spear, talking trash, saying you're going to be a shell of your former self after I'm done with you, and stuff like that. I liked it. I really like Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker's sick. He's got the look. I think he's just incredible. Next, we have Finn Balor versus JD McDonough. Before the match started, they fought in the crowd and did this and did that. This was more of a street fight than the street fight at WrestleMania between Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. And this led to Finn Balor beating JD McDonough, then Dominic Mysterio attacking him. I think I would prefer if Finn Balor got out of the lore. The lore, maybe send Finn Balor to SmackDown, but I guess they're going to continue this feud, which is fine. I'm interested to see how that goes for sure. Next, we have Gunther. I thought Gunther was going to be way more upset with Braun Breaker's help, but he didn't. He was actually happy about it. And I was like, okay, I guess. Seems a little out of character, because how can you claim you're the best in the world if you need help? We'll see. But he does say he still has that favor from Paul Heyman. I do wonder what that's going to be, because now that Brock Lesnar's retired, I actually have zero idea what could possibly be the favor. I don't have one. I have no idea what it could be. So that's interesting. I think that's going to be in the back pocket, and I'm very, very interested to see how that goes. Then Roman Reigns makes his entrance. He sees the Usos, he brings them along, and I was like, oh, Bloodline. I do like the Bloodline, but I was like, we'll see. And then he does make a joke at Jey Uso. He's like, and you were getting trash talked by a 90s rapper. What is going on? Y'all need to be back at the top of the division. I don't know what y'all are doing. And then Jimmy Uso throws up the one. Jey Uso throws up the one. And right as soon as Roman Reigns is about to throw up the one, Jacob Fatu arrives on Raw. And this was a great promo. He comes out and he goes, I don't really want to be the tribal chief, but I want what the tribal chief has. I need better car. I want my kids to go to a better school. I want a bigger house. I want to just have no worries. And I was like, yeah, this is a great promo. It makes sense. It's one of those promos, again, where it's wrestling so simple. Just saying, hey, I get a bigger paycheck by being champion, and I need that. I have to have that. I need what you have. I have to absolutely have it by any means necessary, even if it means I gotta beat up you. Is exactly what he said. And I was like, this is perfect. And this interests me. If you're going to do this, this is how you should do it, because the Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns match just makes so much sense. I'm very excited to see how that goes. I'm very excited to see what happens if after. So this match just makes sense, and it's a match we haven't seen before. Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. So I'm very excited to see how that goes. Yeah, and it's going to happen at Backlash. So it kind of backs up what Roman Reigns was saying. He's like, "Hey, I'm done with this part-timer stuff. We're going to be full-time. I expect to see him at every pay-per-view, and I'm very excited to see if he can be at every pay-per-view. I really hope he can be. That very excites me." Now, the big question I had after Raw was over is, what does SmackDown get? Raw just got a bunch of people call-ups, and then they also got the Street Profits, the best tag team in the world, and Jacob Fatu, who is insanely good. So, who is SmackDown going to get? I'm very interested to see who they get. I can't think of anyone. I think probably a Bayley Lyra goes to SmackDown, probably. Which I think Lyra and Bayley are fantastic, so I'm excited to see that. Hopefully, Lyra can like win something there. So that's pretty exciting. Maybe do a Lyra Rhea match would be cool. But I really like this Raw. It set up a bunch of stuff. It did what it needed to do. It did a lot. I mean, set up Io Kabuki Warriors a bit more. Set up next year's Mania or whenever, maybe SummerSlam with Cody Rhodes to CM Punk. It set up Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Penta Rusev. Set up a future match between Sol Ruka and Liv Morgan because Sol Ruka looked like she was going to beat Liv Morgan until Zarya interfered. So I'm pretty interested to see how that goes. Sets up Street Profits and Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker and The Vision. Hopefully Braun Breaker's okay. Whenever Seth hit him in the back of the head with a chair, and literally in the back of the head, it busted him open. Hopefully Braun Breaker's okay. He just got back from injury. I think he's probably fine. He delivered that spear well. I'm pretty excited to see more of Seth versus Braun, and Braun needs to win this feud. I know the Seth Rollins fans are like, "Come on, you're making him look weak," but Braun Breaker needs to win that feud more than Seth Rollins does, by far, by far. More Finn Balor versus Judgment Day. That one I'm like, eh. Sets up Rhea leaving for SmackDown completely. Sets Io Sky apart. That's great. Interesting to see what Rhea does on SmackDown. Then we have LA Knight versus Gunther happening, and then Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu, which excites me. I love Jacob Fatu. I really like Roman Reigns. Hopefully, he can have another great match after that. But it was very good Raw. I really, really enjoyed it.